4idiots React. This is Anam from Pakistan. Khushamadi.
Hey guys, this is Zara from Iran. Salam dostay aziz.
Hi guys, this is Daniel from Kazakhstan. Добро пожаловать, друзья.
Hey guys, this is Sufyan from India. Namaste, salam, sasriyakal, vanakkam, namaskaram, and khamma ghani. And today we are going to be reacting to this very nice video. It says 10 surprising facts about Indian military. And I think they're going to throw some facts out there, which everyone should know. And
They're gonna bomb us with facts.
yeah, and specifically 10 facts only, not more than that. They will give completely 10,
surprising facts.
Surprising facts. So
which can surprise a lot of people.
it can surprise, yes.
And video, I think the video has a lot of views as well.
So we
Oh,
might
yeah.
not know these facts, and you guys also might not know these facts. So it will be.
So then there's something
Never
wrong with
mind,
this.
guys.
So the video, yeah, that's-
But it's an educational video, so
It's
we
just like you
learn
guys asked, an
together.
educational video.
Yes, and we will
Thank-
educate ourselves on Indian military, how strong it is, and you guys also will learn from. From us, with us. So.
Or maybe you
let's-
fact check, right?
Yeah, let's check our facts. So
like a
that-
lot of people, when we did the geography video, they were saying that we should do
yeah.
more of such videos. So I
Yeah.
think this kind of comes in the same category.
Yeah.
Maybe a different segment of the things,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Because,
And
yeah.
yeah.
I was just gonna add. I was gonna add, like, we react to a lot of Indians content and stuff, so we should. I think we should also learn a lot about the country and culture. So this is one of the videos. So we are excited to see what are the surprising facts. But we're gonna watch it. But before we do, please subscribe to the channel, comment below, like, and keep supporting us. Share the videos with your family and your loved ones. Let's go ahead and watch it.
Let's go.
India is a very massive and powerful country. So in order to defend the interests of India, not just domestically, but around the world as well, they must have a very powerful and massive military also. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Leroy Kenton, and for this episode, we're taking a look at 10 surprising and interesting facts about the Indian military. So let's just get started. Let's just jump right into it. First thing I want to talk about is India is the second largest military in the entire world in terms of active personnel, and they sit behind China with a total active military personnel amount of 1,444,000. But in terms of total military power, they're fourth in the world behind China, Russia, and the United States. Also, when it comes to the military of India, specifically in the Indian Army, it's actually the world's largest standing volunteer army. So all serving and reserve personnel have actually opted for service, but there's a provision for conscription, which is forced recruitment in the Constitution of India, but it has never really been used. So that just goes to show you how eager Indians are to serve their country. Fact number 8 involves the 16th Light Cavalry, and that, by the way, was a regiment of the Armored Corps, and it was a primary combat arm of the Indian Army since it was formed back in the year 1776. Some sources say 1774. I guess it's just really a matter of when it was formed versus when it was actually active. But either way, that's besides the point. It's the oldest armored regiment created by the East Indian Company at Kolkata. So prior to India getting independence in the year 1947, it became a regular cavalry regiment of the British Indian Army. So the current form of the Indian Army actually has its origins from the East India Company's military department. Another interesting fact about India's military is Operation Rahat that happened back in the year 2013. Now, this was one of the biggest civilian rescue operations that was ever done in history. It was conducted by the Indian Air Force, and it was really to evacuate civilians that were affected by the floods in Uttarakhand. Now, according to the Indian Air Force, they actually claim that this is the biggest civilian rescue operation that has ever been conducted in the world by any Air Force using helicopters. The Indian Air Force, they ended up airlifting a total of 19,600 people. Now let's get into some specifics about the Indian military. Let's take a look at their numbers. First, I want to start off with their land systems. When it comes to total tanks, they have 4,292, Armored fighting vehicles sit at 8,686. They have 235 self-propelled artillery, 266 rocket projectors, and 4,060 towed artillery. But guys, before we get into more specific information about the Indian military, just a heads up, because we're halfway in this episode, to leave a like on this episode if you're really enjoying it so far, as well as if you want to help more people see our episodes, definitely leaving a like really helps. Also, if this is your first time here to FTD Facts and you're contemplating whether or not you should subscribe, I'm gonna give you a hint. Go ahead, subscribe. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. We post episodes daily here on FTD Facts, so be sure to come back to learn more about our world, the different cultures, people, religions, and all of that jazz within it. Next up at fact number 5, let's talk about their air power. So the Indian military has a total of 538 fighter jets. Their attack aircraft total sit at 172. They have 250 transport aircraft in their possession, as well as 359 trainer aircraft. Also, their helicopters, which have really come in handy, especially Project Rahat that I was talking about in this episode, 722 of them, and the attack helicopter count sits at 23. So when it comes to the Navy of the Indian military, they have a total naval asset count of 285. They have 1 aircraft carrier, 10 destroyers, 13 frigates, 19 corvettes, 16 submarines, as well as they have 139 patrol crafts and 3 mine warfare vessels. Okay, so we just took a brief look at some of the specific assets in the Indian military. Now I want to take a look at their defense budget, because of course all of that needs money to back it. So according to the latest numbers, India's defense budget for 2020 to 2021, that total was reported to be $73.65 billion US. And this was according to an official statement from the Indian government. But you know, officials and analysis, they're actually estimating that the amount is not even going to come close to meet the new demands for weapon purchases, as well as modernizing their military a lot more for India, because India is set to spend about 90% of its defense budget on existing expenses and obligations. So it leaves barely any room to advance and modernize their military. Also, the Indian Ministry of Defense had said that India will need $238 billion to meet its arms and equipment requirements in the next decade. And by the way, that number has been calculated according to the Long-Term Integrated Perspective Plan, or LTIPP for short, for the years 2012 up until 2027. Next thing I want to talk about is India's nuclear triad. So in late 2016, India completed its nuclear triad by actually adding a strategic nuclear submarine, the INS Arhant, into their military arsenal. Now, India has become one of the only countries to do this. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the term nuclear triad, it refers to the ability of a country to launch nuclear warheads from land, sky, and the seas. Now, this is very important to India's second strike capability, because India had committed to a no first use policy when it comes to nuclear attacks. Now, the second strike capabilities refers specifically to the ability or the capability to strike back after being hit by a nuclear weapon first. We just actually hope that nuclear war, regardless of the country, never actually happens. But no doubt, the nuclear triad is a testament to the greatness and the power of the military of India. And the final fact I want to share regarding India's military in this episode is regarding its military achievements. So India has fought over 5 major battles with the neighboring countries, 4 with Pakistan and 1 with China, ever since its independence. Also, India's military has experience to fight in all kinds of terrain, because there's everything from desert to high mountains, tropical forests, plateaus, valleys, deltas, you name it. So the Indian military, they do regular combat training in all kinds of surroundings and environments. So when it comes to combat time, yeah, they can handle themselves in pretty much any kind of environment. So that's a huge achievement right there. Also, though India is not part of any major military alliance, it does have very close strategic as well as pretty good military relationships with some of the most powerful nations in the world. Countries that consider India to be really close allies are Russia, Israel, Afghanistan, France, the United States, as well as Bangladesh. Alright guys, so that was a brief look at 10 surprising and interesting facts about India's military. Be sure to leave your thoughts and comments down below. I know a lot of you guys have been requesting for us to do more videos about India, more videos about their military and all of that, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Now, if you want to follow me on social media, my links are down below in the video description section. Also, I'm going to leave you the recommended episode that's going to be at the end screen, so you can tap that annotation once I get out of here, which is right about now. So stay awesome, stay educated. Until the next episode. See you soon.
Bye, bro.
By the way, very good video from
Good message.
what's the name?
FTD facts.
Yeah, so shout out to the
FTD facts.
person.
Yeah.
What was his name? Did you guys catch his name?
Oh, yeah.
Kendrick? Kentrell?
Was something like L? Yeah, Lori.
Oh, Leroy Kenton.
Leroy.
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 Good one, brother.
Good job, brother. Good job.
You're doing good.
Very
Subscribe,
educational.
guys. Subscribe him and us both.
Yeah.
To us first, and then you might consider subscribing to Leroy.
We should support our fellow YouTubers, you know. So
Yes, sir. Always
subscribe and
understand.
like.
So what was the most surprising, or what were the most surprising facts that you guys were not aware of? What surprised you?
I didn't know that India was second. I thought India was like third or fourth, but India is second. That's a
Largest army.
that's a very big achievement actually.
It's
Only behind China, yeah.
It's huge actually. So don't mess with India. Basically, this is the message that we got from this video. Because there's a lot of weapons of mass destruction.
Plus the number of people as well. That
Yeah.
plays a factor as well.
Yeah.
Because I have few people
Yeah.
like far off relatives who are in military, and it's like the fact he told that they get to experience everything of all the climates. So
Yes.
that's something they do as well. So they have like 1 year in some very cold weather,
Nice.
then they go somewhere else. So they keep traveling. So
Oh.
they are very adaptable.
Adapted.
You know, I think one of the major things in this is that people are doing it voluntarily.
Oh, yes.
Because that's a very big factor in like war and stuff. I mean, hopefully it never happens, but it's a very big factor when it happens. Because like I've heard stories about different wars where like one country was more powerful, the other one in terms of military, and the other one wasn't that powerful, but the people were more like, you know, in defense of their country, more patriotic. Did I say it right? Yeah, and then that one, like one, they could defend themselves and stuff.
Nice.
Because yeah, I've heard of few regiments. I don't know. He didn't mention Gorkha, but Gorkha is considered as one of the regiments which is very strong and like, which is in one part. So there are different, I think, names of different regiments.
I was
Yeah,
shocked
but
about
Gorkha is
the.
very powerful.
I was shocked about the army, the number of military, 1.8 million or something. If I'm not mistaken.
1.44 did I think.
And this was 2 years ago, so I think it should
It's
be more
increased
now.
by now.
And also the Operation Rahat, he said is one of the
Oh, that
till
was
now
shocking
it's
too.
like one of the biggest rescue missions
19,600 people.
Yeah.
That's
by
a lot.
air. That's a lot. It requires a
lot,
lot of
yeah.
fuel. Requires so much like navigation and all that. You know. So that is crazy. And the floods happened long time ago. It mentioned in
2013 or 14, I guess.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. So
That was mind blowing.
Like I remember seeing those floods on the news, and like I
Very
saw a
horrible.
lot of rescue operations as well on the news, because it was a lot of people were there. Like I think they
many
went,
people.
and it's like a religious, what do they call it? Pilgrimage.
Pilgrimage.
Yeah.
Pilgrimage
It's in
place.
Uttarakhand.
Uttarakhand, yeah, Uttarakhand. So they were, the people were like it was that area, and like so the floods happened, and like it was.
So people were there for
was-
pilgrimage reasons,
Oh.
and then the flood.
Not only those people, it was people who were staying there plus the other
Okay,
people.
basically the entire population of the city, I think.
That area is
19,000
sacred.
people,
It's a
yeah,
lot
there
of
was a
people.
lot of people, yeah.
273
I think that a lot of
helicopters.
people got damaged as well,
Yeah,
right?
died,
And like
died.
19,000 should be a very small amount in terms of
Yeah.
Like the area you're explaining?
yeah.
But they were able to
Yeah,
save so
that's
many,
a lot to
considering
save.
that there were floods as well. Like, I'm sure there were difficulties to land the
For
helicopter
sure.
actually
Very
to
hard.
get people on the board.
And to
So respect
rescue.
to the army.
Yeah.
Respect to Indian military. So you guys took all the surprising facts that I was surprised about as well. But maybe one surprising fact was the nuclear diversity
Oh,
they
the
have.
three?
It's the three: the earth, sea, and the water. Sea,
Land.
earth, and air as well.
I honestly didn't even know they could send it from sea and air. I thought it's just from
That's
Me
crazy.
too, nuclear.
Yeah, me too. I did not
I
know.
didn't know it was air. What would you do with in the air?
Like-
you
I
would
think they
just-
have some.
like the
Destroy
force,
them.
doesn't it? Like
I think they have some satellites in the
Gravity.
air.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
I
weird.
can't
No,
comprehend it.
it's not in the air, I feel. Like,
Then what is it?
Yeah.
Like
but-
From
it
the
should be-
ground also, it
But
was in the
even-
in the
air.
air, yeah, that's what.
No, but they mean from the air.
From the air.
because
I think
it's-
there
Yeah,
is
that
like
is
some
from the
satellite.
ground.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah,
satellite
yeah,
up in the air
satellite,
that
or something,
can
yeah.
So, but I'm
nuclear-
thinking, wouldn't the force of this going
Mhm.
like do something to the satellite on the other direction?
No, I'm sure they have planned it out.
Yeah, I
it's,
mean,
it's more
I-
It's
technical and-
interesting to
yeah.
me. Like I want to know how it
I
works.
don't think people like in the past they have used like any country has used air or water nuclear bombs or something
They,
like that.
they,
right?
it was used, right? For Hiroshima.
No, that was
Hiroshima
land,
and
but
no,
that was
Nagasaki.
land.
The
It
other
wasn't the
one,
water
like,
actually.
the
Hiroshima
air
wasn't
and
the
water.
water.
I thought nuclear power
Which one
ever
was the
used.
It wasn't the water.
anything.
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh my god, it was in the water?
Yes, and they.
Japan was completely
Dumped it in
yeah,
Japan.
like after
I
that.
thought that was so it was land and water, you mean, right?
I
Because
think that's
there-
not going to controversial.
Yeah.
Okay,
controversial
well,
topics
never
and
mind.
conspiracy
But
theories.
from what I know, that it's like even till now, people are suffering from that. You know, the effects, the what is it called, the ultra, the what, the
Radiation?
radiations. Yeah, from the radiation. So yeah, that's very powerful. This
Thank you so
theory.
much, guys,
Yes.
for suggesting. Few people actually suggested this video,
Mhm.
and we love the video.
Yeah.
These were some facts I think which every person should know, in India and outside India as well. Like being more educated about different countries. And thank you so much for watching. And subscribe, like, comment,
Yeah.
and bye.
Bye.